And it's my responsibility living in this world as a human being who has created this mess. It's my responsibility to be serious in the resolution of this problem. I'm serious. It doesn't mean I'm long-faced, I'm miserable, unhappy, or I want something out of it. It has got to be solved. It's like going, if one has a cancer, one is serious about it. You don't play around with it.
Action in relation to this seriousness, then, is instantaneous.
Obviously.
Yes. This raises not an additional question. I don't mean to go beyond where we haven't begun in that sense. But time assumes for the serious person something very different for his undergoing than it would seem to be for the unserious person. One wouldn't have then the feeling of something being dragged out, or as we say in English, time that has to be put in.
Put in, quite.
As a matter of fact, one in this concurrent communication, in which communion is abidingly present, time as such would not in any way oppress.
No, sir. No, sir.
Am I...
Quite right. But you see, sir, I'm trying to see what it means to be serious. The intent, the urge, the feeling of total responsibility, the feeling of action, the doing, not I will do. All that is implied in that word seriousness. At least I put all those things into that word.
Could we look for a moment at one of them that,
yes,
that you put into them, responsibility? Able to be responsive.
That's right. To respond adequately.
Yes, to respond adequately.
To any challenge. The challenge now is that the world is in a mess, confusion, sorrow and violent, all that. I must, as a human being who has created this thing, I must respond adequately. The adequacy depends on my seriousness in that sense, on my observation of the chaos, and responding not according to my prejudices, my inclination or tendencies or pleasures or fears, but responding to the problem, not according to my translation of the problem.
Yes, I'm just thinking, as you're speaking, about how difficult it is to communicate this to the person who is thinking that the way adequately to respond to this chaos is to have a plan for it, which one superimposes on it.
So
and that's exactly what we assume.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the plan doesn't work out, we blame ourselves.
Or
and we
change
say,
the plan.
Or we change the plan. Yes.
But we don't respond to the challenge.
No.
We respond according to our conclusion about the problem.
Exactly.
Therefore, it means really, sir, if you can explore it a little more, the observer is the observed.
Therefore, the change, if it comes, is total,
Yes, that's
not
right.
partial.
Yes.
One is no longer outside what he is operating upon.
That's right.
And what he is operating upon is not outside himself.
Because, as we said yesterday, it's very interesting if you go into it rather deeply. The world is me, I am the world. That's not an intellectual or emotional, but a fact. Now, when I approach the problem, the chaos, the misery, the suffering, the violence, all that, I approach it with my conclusions, with my fears, with my despairs. I don't look at the problem.
Well, would you think it possible to put it this way, that one doesn't make room for the problem?
Yes, put it in a way.
Would that be all right?
Yes. So let's look at this. As a human being, one has created this misery, which is called the society in which we live. Mm-hmm. An immoral society. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Completely immoral. As a human being, one has created that. But that human being, looking at it, separates himself and says, I must do something about it. The it is me.
Mm-hmm. Some people respond to that this way. They say, well, look, if I'm truly serious, I'm truly responsible, I make this act, and there comes between me and the world this confluent relationship, which is total. All the things that are going on out there that are atrocious, let's say 2,500 miles away from where I am, don't stop. Therefore, how can I say that the whole world is me and I am the whole world? This objection comes up again and again. I'm interested to know what your reply to that would be.
Look, we are human beings irrespective of our labels. English, French, German, all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A human being living in America or in India has the problems of relationship, of suffering, of jealousy, envy, greed, ambition, imitation, conformity, and all that are our problems, common to both of us.
Yes.
And when I say the world is me and the world, me is the world and the world I am, I see that as a reality, not as a concept. Mm-hmm. Now, my responsibility to the challenge, to be adequate, must be not in terms of what I think, but what the problem is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I follow you, I'm sure, here. I was thinking while you were saying that it might have been possible to answer the question that I posed, and I'm posing the question simply because I know some persons who might very well view this, who would raise that and want to participate with us in this conversation. I wondered whether you might have said that as soon as one puts it that way, one has already divorced himself.
That's right.
From the issue. That in the practical order, that question is an interposition that simply does not have a place in the activity that you are talking about.
Yes, that's right.
This is very interesting because it means that the person must suspend his disbelief
or his belief
or his belief.
Yes.